Hi, I am Amber Anderson, and we are here for the next Come Up. And I'm here with the very lovely and talented Miss Wendy Makkena. And should I say Renaissance woman? Do you accept that term?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it.
Awesome. So I'm such a big fan of Sister Act because you were so great in that.
Thank you.
So let's just dive right in. Okay, so let's talk about your journey to getting the role for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
I auditioned, like one does.
One does.
I remember looking at it thinking that I didn't think I was quite right for it. But then you just never know what they want. But I just auditioned like everyone else. And then I got a call back for Marielle was the director. Marielle Heller, who is amazing. Yeah, the rest is history. We only had 2 auditions.
Oh.
I think so. The first one for the casting person, Evie Kaufman, who is amazing. And, yeah.
Wonderful. And have you heard of any Oscar buzz around the film, and what would that mean to you at this point in your career?
And I've not heard about Oscar buzz. I've been asked, but I'm sure everybody's been asking about that. I mean, we know that Tom has not been nominated, I think, in, is it 16, 19 years or something like that? Ever, or ever maybe? I don't know. But,
19 years.
yeah, 19 years.
Wow.
So,
He's due.
he's due. That's what I keep hearing is just like he's due.
This might be.
No.
Were there any notably challenging or fantastic events that took place during shooting?
I didn't faint when I walked into a room with Tom Hanks, Chris Cooper, Matthew Reese, Susan Kelechi Watson, and everybody else. That was a miracle.
Awesome. What do you think your cast members would agree about working with you?
That I left him alone. Just, right? That, look, I have Dorothy, my character, she's watching everybody else. She's not part of this family. And so as an actor, you got to fill in the background. You got to get really specific when it's not there necessarily on the page. And for me, I just decided that Dorothy was just trying to stay as one step out of it as she can and let things unfold.
It's like method a little.
A little bit. Well, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, what would they say? I think that actor really knows how to stay over. Leave us. Let's stay over here. Stay in her own lane. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Which highlights of your career would you say you are the most proud?
Wow. Well, before I did any TV or film, I'd been doing Broadway and off-Broadway for like 10 years. I'd say that was the most fulfilling for me. Mm-hmm. I'm a theater rat, and I really like that. But in terms of, I'm assuming you're asking for film and TV.
All of
anything,
it. Because you're a Renaissance woman with the dance and the music and the entrepreneurship, all of it. Is there
Well,
anything?
being on Broadway, playing the role of Crazy Terry in a show called Sideman, was one of the highlights of my career. It won the Tony Award, and I was pregnant. I was 3 months pregnant when I left the show.
Oh my God.
So I did the show for like a year, and I loved that. It was after that I started doing more film and television. The highlight of my career, honestly, was getting to play All the Way May in the little-known TV series called The League of Their Own, directed by Penny Marshall, and we actually had to play ball. And I'm a huge fan. I don't necessarily, baseball actually.
Baseball, it was
Yeah, I don't like going to baseball games so much, but I love playing the game, and we had to play the game. That was like our third callback.
You're like, I could have fun here?
Yes, exactly. And learning to catch a pop fly with my hat behind my back.
Right.
Highlight.
Right. Was that Madonna who did that?
Madonna did that in the series. Yep.
Awesome.
That was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool for sure. What are some gems or anything that you took away with working with Tom Hanks?
Well, it's funny. I mentioned The League of Their Own because he came and directed one of those episodes, So we were all very excited that he was coming on set and directing us. So He was amazing then. He was kind.
So wasn't your first rodeo?
It was not my first rodeo, yeah. He was inclusive. He wasn't a star. He didn't act like a star. It's just like, I'm this guy directing you. So what was one of my takeaways? Just watching him work, really. First of all, hanging out with him on a set in between takes. He doesn't go to his trailer, and he doesn't have like a bunch of handlers around. He's just another actor. We know he's not. We know he's Tom Hanks. But what I took away was that I would forget that I was watching an actor every time.
So you just
Those
get
camera
lost in
roll.
the performance.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time where you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be acting with you?
Yes. Yes. I didn't. We didn't have any one-on-one stuff necessarily, but I would forget. Like I would go, oh, do I have a line? Oh, do I have a line? Because I was like, what? Look what he's doing.
Right.
It's seamless.
Yeah.
It's seamless. It's present. He's as present inside the character as Mr. Rogers was present with the children that he was talking to, it seemed to me.
Did you see any specifics in his process that you can use for yourself or other actors that you can share?
You know what? He's one of those actors, in my opinion, that you just don't see the wheels turning. Some great actors you do, and there's no difference for me. But with him,
It's just all magic.
it was just it's literally magic.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, with music, dance, a successful Ruby's Rocket business, and being an actor resume, what would you rank as your true career passion?
Wow. You know what's really cool about having a food company? You get to wear a hairnet and a big orange freezer jacket, and you get to climb into a liquefier at your co-packer to see what's causing black dots on something that's coming out. That, to me, is like, oh my God, nobody's like filming me do this.
Right.
Like, and what I don't have to wear makeup, and I have to ask myself all the time, and how did I get here?
Right.
Because all I did was go, I think I have a kind of a neat idea. All right. And the moms on the carpool line were like, we want some for our kids. And I go, all right, I'll try to figure out how to take it to market. And then it happened. Yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, I'm making it sound easy. It was hard.
Okay.
But it was also really exciting. And the other thing exciting about that, I can't believe I'm not talking about acting. The other thing exciting about that was I used my acting skills to build my company. Right, so I'd have to cold call people like from food companies that I didn't, right, and I would be able to go, I know if I pitch my voice up a little bit, that the males that I'm dealing with will be more likely to help me. I had to ask a lot of favors. Hi, I just don't know how yams are. Like, where do I get yams? How do I source yams? And the guys were always like, well, let me help you out. It's like, but if I sounded like a sort of a strong, mature woman, I knew I wasn't certain doors weren't going to open. And so I was able to use different parts of my personality, not characters, but parts of my personality to kind of get indoors.
Sounds genius to me. Okay, so just a couple of questions left. What projects do you have on deck that we can look out for?
Oh, I just thank you for that. I just wrapped a film called Spiked that I'm really psyched about. Indie film, and it directed by Juan Martinez Vera, and starring Aidan Quinn, who you're probably too young, but Aidan Quinn was like, I was like, oh my God, Aidan Quinn, and so I got to kiss Aidan Quinn. That was a highlight. I forgot to mention that before, kissing Aidan Quinn, a new movie by Wendy Makkena. So,
Oh, you wrote it.
no, I did not. I'm just saying it's like
okay.
sounds like kissing Jessica stuff. So that was really great. A really beautiful film about Mexicans who are being profiled in Arizona, Mexican minors. And so it's an important film and it's a beautiful film.
And tell us the name of it one more time.
It's called Spiked.
Spiked. Okay, we'll check that out. And lastly, what advice would you give to other multi-talented artists who may feel overwhelmed with which creative path they would like to take to get started?
Oh, wow. Meaning overwhelmed with, should I do this or should I do this because I'm multi-talented?
When everything feels like the right way to go because you're good at it. You're good at a lot of different things.
I would say don't compartmentalize. There is no reason, especially now, that you have to choose one or the other. You can actually find the common thread, find out what it is. Where's the crossover? You'll find it. Right, I'm doing popsicles, right? Well, what does that have to do with acting? There's a crossover. The pitches, right? The pitches, the fact that you get to a certain age and you don't, and as a woman, there are fewer roles, so hey, I'd better find something else I like. You can always find an overlap, right? There's common denominators.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for sitting with us today. It was lovely to meet you.
Hello, neighbor.
Hey, I'm looking for Fred Rogers.
In here.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hello, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers. I'm here to interview you.
It is so nice to meet you.
You okay?
I'm profiling Mr. Rogers.
Boyd, please don't ruin my childhood.
This piece will be for an issue about heroes. Do you consider yourself a hero?
We are trying to give the world positive ways of dealing with their feelings.
Yeah? Like what?
There are many things you can do. You could play all the lowest keys on a piano at the same time.
You love broken people. Like me.
Sometimes we have to ask for help, and that's okay. I think the best thing we can do is to let people know that each one of them is precious.
Hey, Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Please won't you be my neighbor?
That was wonderful.